Hickok 45 here, and I'm gonna load up this baby. Got another Henry, and this one is in 30-30. That's why we're putting 30-30 ammo in it. How's that? Does that make sense? Okay. Purdy rifle. Ooh, look at that. Brass. Brass. Beautiful, beautiful. That is really nice. Look. What is that? Oh my gosh. Is that a loading gate? I think it is. That must be what side gate means down there in the title. Is that what that means? Side gate? Okay. Okay, this one has a loading gate. And I didn't even know it. Well, there's nothing in the chamber, or I would not have been loading it. So let's load the thing properly here. Oh man, I can't believe it. So let's put this back in. This crazy tube, I don't know where that came from. And let's load this thing like a proper lever gun. Hey, look at that. Oh yeah, that is a loading gate. Okay, so Henry, side gate. Gotcha. Gotcha, Henry, side gate. Okay. We know what you mean now. All right, I don't know how many that is. That might be enough. I think it holds 5. Maybe it holds 6 or 8 or 12. Yeah, Henry. The Henry side gate. That's what this is. Engraving and everything. And that is a new innovation for Henry. Okay, the company, Henry Rifle. Repeating arms, Henry repeating arms. So, let's try it out. 30-30. And it's got a side gate. Let's shoot this thing and see how it does. Wow, we're back in the Wild West with a loading gate. And just to celebrate, I'm going to do a little bowling on the first shot. Yeah, all right. How about a 2-liter? Man, that blew it up, didn't it? 30-30. Look at that. 30-30 has some power. In today's world of all these modern hotshot cartridges, sometimes we forget about the old standby. Look how it smokes a pot, in fact. Watch this. See, pretty smoky, huh? Got another one. Let's bowl a little. Yeah, 30-30 is a nice cartridge. That's a pretty gun, isn't it? I happen to have a cloth here in my pocket. I'm gonna wipe it down, at least have it looking good for the first part. All brass. Oh yeah. I've always liked brass and a firearm. It's just pretty. And Henry knows that, don't they? That's one reason these are so popular. They're so pretty and they're well made. So yeah, I have to come clean, don't I? I have to confess, I have complained over the years as much as anybody about these rifles not having a loading gate. You've heard me do it. I've had so many people since this became available in the last month or two said, when are you going to do the loading gate? You know, Henry now makes a rifle with a loading gate and everything. And you're going to have to eat your words, Hickok. And so yeah, here it is. And it's a nice looking rifle, I'll have to say. This one, you know, these new, I'm not sure this is the cowboy model. I think it's called the cowboy model maybe. And I'm not sure how many different versions of her out yet. I know it's chambered in 38-55, 35 Remington, and 30-30. Now maybe some of those chambers are not out there on the market yet. It just depends. Yeah, and of course, you know, we're at the end or middle of May here. So you know, so whatever that means, 2019, I think. Do I have my year right? But those are the 3 chamberings that it is available in or going to be, which is pretty interesting. You know, 35 Remington, yeah, really, and 38-55. Those are not exactly the most common chamberings out there, and you know, in rifles. So it's kind of neat because they all have a serious following, though. The 35 Remington, there's almost a cult following of that cartridge. That's probably not fair, really. I think depending on where you live in the country, I know when we do a 35 Remington video, because I have a Marlin chambered in that, I hear from people up in Michigan and Maine, different places where there's a lot of bear hunting or whatever. So it's a really popular chambering in some areas of the country. And then so is 3855. That's an old West cartridge. The 1886 Winchester, I think, was chambered in that. That's a neat cartridge. It's one I've never fired, I guess. I've come close a couple of times on purchasing something chambered in it. So it's kind of neat. They're chambered in those cartridges, I have to say. So yeah, this is it. We got our wish, right? I can't complain on this rifle that it doesn't have a loading gate. So there is the loading gate. Okay, it's still new and still stiff, but yeah, I requested it from Buds because I just had to get one, of course, and you know, let y'all see me eat my words, so to speak. No, to be honest, yeah, it's better to have a loading gate, of course. My gripe with the lever guns that Henry makes is just the one issue, basically. Now, they're great guns, and y'all bought a lot of them, and you love them, and they work. It's just the fact they're not a replica of any of the lever guns that were made in the 19th century or the 20th century, you know. Well, 19th century mainly, and I'm a traditionalist. And I love the old Winchesters and the Marlins and everything, but that's okay. It's a new lever gun, and if somebody's making a quality lever gun, I don't really have a lot of right to complain, you know, because there's not many people making a nice lever gun these days. We know some of the issues with Marlin. Marlin makes a great rifle, but due to new ownership and everything, you know, they're a little sketchy, you know, in quality and all that. So it's really a good thing that Henry is making this. This is a pretty nice rifle, and of course you get the best of both worlds, as they say. You still got the tube. You can unload it like I did, and you can load it through the loading gate or load it through the tube, whatever your preference is. You can unload it after you've been hunting through the day. Maybe you didn't even take a shot, or you took one shot and you've got 4 or 5 rounds to get out of there. Now, one thing, well, let me shoot a little more before I yak too much. One thing I want to point out, though, about the unloading that John and I ran into is a little bit of a hitch, but, you know, not a big deal. It's a pretty rifle, isn't it? And these are not brass light, I think it's called, which is nothing wrong with that. They're 22s, use that's a brass plating. It's a really quality plating or whatever. This is a brass receiver. I think that's solid brass too. That barrel band and the butt plate and everything is solid brass. Excuse me. But so it's really nice brass. They claim that their brass is hardened, and you got the tensile strength of steel and everything. And I don't know, it's strong enough. I guess as long as it's strong enough, that's all that matters. It's pretty. It's really pretty. I love brass. And of course it'll tarnish because it is real brass, but that's okay. You can shine it up when you want to, get some Flitz or whatever product you like and shine it up. And it's not like you're refinishing an old 1886 Winchester or 1866 Winchester and, you know, affecting the collector's value or something by cleaning it. You could keep this thing clean, it doesn't matter, do what you want with it. So anyway, did I fill it up? Let's shoot the thing. Some more. The sights seem to be pretty much on. I'm shooting at some the other day here, and at the red plates. I have not moved the sights, and I was able to hit that day. Yeah, pop that one. Let's try that one on the right. It'll probably fall off. Nice. I'll try the one in the middle. Okay, got to hold up a little bit. Pretty nice though. You know what? There's a 2-liter on the barrel over there. Let me see if I can hit it. All right. Got another round for the sender that's right beside it. Okay. Yeah, sights are pretty much on. I'm not bench rested it and all that. You know, Firearms going back to buds, for the e-gunner and all that. 10% goes to the food bank in Nashville, and all that kind of thing, as I've explained a few times. So it's not that important for me to get those sights just right on the money. As long as I can get them in the ballpark pretty close and hit what I want to shoot at and hit, that's fine. Whoever ends up with the rifle might want to bench rest it. And that goes for anything you see here that goes back, anything from buds, because they all go back. Put it on a sandbag and really get those sights on exactly the way you like them. For example, this one, it shoots a little low, so I'd raise the rear sight a little bit. Not much, and I don't. The windage seems okay, but it could be off a little bit. You get out to some range, and it is drilled and tapped for a scope. Yeah, you could put a scope on it if you want to. Just don't let me see you doing it. No, I won't give you a hard time. If you want to put a scope on your lever gun, go ahead and do it. I'm not sure why people do that, but go ahead and do it. If it's a hunting rifle and you love the rifle, but you have trouble seeing sights, go ahead. Just, again, don't let me see it, please. And also your buckhorn sights, which honestly are hard for a lot of people to get a good sight picture on, no doubt about it. These are adjustable, though, elevation and windage. You loosen that little screw there and move, kind of like the Marlin sight, even has that little diamond in it, which kind of messes with my eyes to some extent. And I know in the Marlin, you can loosen that, pull it out totally and turn it around to where it's just the black part is, you're looking at, and you're not even looking at that white diamond there. But that's up to you. It may not, or you could color it in. Take a magic marker and fix that pretty quickly, couldn't you? It's got a little piece of whatever pearl out there in the front. That's nice. Ivory. That front sight really jumps out at you. I like that. Yeah, it's a nice rifle. It really is. If nothing else, it is an accurate replica of the Henry Repeating Arms rifles they've been making the last 20, 30 years, and it's a good one. Okay, let's load it up. Should we load it through the tube? Let's do that. Equal opportunity employer here. Let's load it this way, this time. How's that? Okay. Yep, see, standard operation. Oh, I know what I was gonna show you. Almost made a liar out of myself. Told you I was gonna talk about something and didn't. We were having a little issue, just so you know. It's not a big problem, but it's just something to be aware of. Because I know one of the advantages of the rifle is you've been out hunting. Let's say, let me fire one shot because I got to make it realistic. Okay. Let's see. Do I want to fire one? Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter if I do or not. Let's smoke that pot, and let's hit another. Oh, there's another 2-liter. Okay, so I don't want to put another one in the chamber, so I'll leave that empty in the chamber. So we know there's nothing in the chamber, it's empty, all right? So let's say the hunting is over. I took a couple of shots at deer, groundhogs, Tyrannosaurus Rex, whatever, and I'm finished for the day. I am at the truck or wherever. I'm gonna dump out my rounds. Okay, way to go there. Let's start like this, so it can come out the bottom. All right, so we empty me out, and we could put this back in or what? Oh, we still got a round there. Okay, so that one is not going to fall out. I don't know if it would if you kind of. Oh, it did. Okay, good. Okay, John, we just discovered. Yeah, so it just needs a little. Just be aware of that. And boy, know there's nothing in that chamber. Okay, know where you are. Of course, you can fire, pull the trigger. We know there's an empty in there, right? We could verify that if you're out in the hunting field or you're in the woods or whatever. You make sure that one that's in the chamber, is that empty, that beyond any shadow of a doubt, okay? But, yeah, we were having an issue with that one. They weren't all falling out, but we didn't do what I just did. So just be aware that one could just be hanging there. It will hang there every time it's done that. It stays there. So you'll need to, bump it and get it out. And if not, just put the tube back in, because if you don't put the tube back in, you can rack it out, of course, all right? But you'll need to have the tube back in first, because we got one kind of hung up in there by not doing that, right? If that made any sense. So if you empty by the tube, you'll have one that will sort of hang back, all right? Because it's past the little, that makes sense, the little clip that holds it, you know, once it goes into the carrier area there, all right? So just be aware of that. That every last round is not going to just fall out simply, okay? All right, now, what else about the firearm? We'll maybe fire one more time here a little bit. Yeah, I think it retails, MSRP is around $1,000 in that neighborhood. A little more, less, so probably get it for 900 and something. I don't know. So it's not cheap, but it is. It seems to be a nice rifle. It does. You got your adjustable buckhorn sights, like I say. Nice front sight. You got this checkering. That's kind of nice, kind of fancy. I guess it's press checkering. I don't guess someone sat there with a knife and carved that out, but it actually looks pretty good. Unless checkering like that just turns you off. And what else about this? You got your sling swivels there, front and rear. 2 ways to load it, unload it. Brass butt plate, nice heavy gun. It's I forget what the twist on the barrel is, but in each caliber, 30-30, 38-55, or 35 Remington, there's a different twist, and it's supposedly a twist that makes sense. I don't hand load 30-30 or 35 Remington, 38-55, any of those. So it didn't. The numbers didn't mean a lot to me, but from what I've read, the twist rate on the barrels for the respective calibers and chamberings. Cartridges are suitable for either factory loads or hand loads. They're kind of in the middle, you know. So for what that's worth, and I don't know that it comes in a longer barrel yet or not, but I see this as being really popular, and will probably be offered in more options as time moves on. And time has a way of doing that, doesn't it? So I'm pretty smart. I've seen it happen. And so I would expect that to be the case, because a lot of people like lever guns, even young people, and a lot of people like these Henry rifles and how purty they are and how they tend to work, right? So let's load him up one more time. There are a lot of people that like lever guns, and there aren't that many companies making quality lever guns these days. I mean, there's a bunch, you know, from Italy, and you got Marlin, you got Henry, but sometimes the quality is a little sketchy, right? 30-30 is a great caliber. I think I was talking about blabbing early on how it's underrated in a lot of ways. Ballistically, it's still a very effective cartridge, no doubt about it. And it might be, if you are falling in love, you find yourself falling in love with this rifle just from looking at it, it might be one of the more sensible chamberings, because 30-30 is pretty common, and you know, everybody knows 30-30. All right, we got targets left. What's wrong with me? Of course I'm going to shoot some more. Yeah. Woo! And I'll take a couple of pins out. And I have at least one more round, 2 maybe. Yeah, we had enough to clear the bowling alley, didn't we? So, yeah, I think I've told you about everything I know, which is not much. So, kind of a different sort of lever gun, you know, one that loads and unloads through a tube, and also a loading gate. And the loading gate seems to load pretty well. You noticed there wasn't a lot of pinching and bleeding and crying going on, which can happen with some loading gates, right? You may have seen me do a little bleeding on a loading gate right here. I know I've done that before and had some pinching going on. So it's pretty smooth. The brass around that loading gate, yeah, there's no sharp edges. That's nice. Watch me cut my finger up. I believe, yeah, it'd be hard to have a cut or take the skin off right there. That's nice. That's nice. I wish every lever gun would do that. So yeah, here we go. So one of the complaints. Now a lot of you have not had that complaint. I found that out early on. One of the first videos we did with one of these a lot of people gave me a hard time about making a big deal out of it not having a loading gate, and how a lot of you who hunt and you use them for practical reasons like that, you prefer the loading tube, so I did find out just from you all that that's not as big a negative with a lot of people. It's not even a negative at all for a lot of you. But then also for a lot of you it is. I've heard from you all too, and you agreed it's a big negative. So what we're going to complain about now? It's got a loading gate and a tube, so we're going to have a hard time complaining about the rifle, I guess. So here it is, the side gate Henry. You've got both choices, and it's really a brilliant, I guess, marketing and plan to offer both. So, and it's probably a smart move if you're going to add the loading gate to maintain the tube. I mean, it's kind of a why not, right? Unless you're trying to put together an exact replica of an Old West, lever gun, like they have done with the 1860 Henry. Okay, so I don't know what else I can tell you about it, except it seems to be a really nice rifle, and I don't see a lot of negatives with this one. It's a hefty rifle, but in a 30-30 or any of those 3 cartridges we're talking about, you want a little heft because they kick a little bit, and you want something that's going to last. So it's a pretty rifle, and it works. Again, my only negative with these rifles is they're a new type of lever gun. They're a hybrid. They're not a remake of 1866 or any of the others, which I really like a lot. But they're nice rifles, and they work, and they're purty. So anyway, congratulations to Henry for putting in a loading gate. I guess enough of us complained about that they got out the Dremel tool and just ripped one in there, didn't they? So anyway, appreciate y'all's support, and glad you came by this evening. Appreciate you supporting all the fine people that support us, and hope you have a pleasant evening and you have a great dinner, okay? Because that's where we're going. Life is good.
That's not bad. Oh, hey, just measuring this 15-shot group. Since I've got you here, I want to remind you to check out our friends over at SDI and Talon Grips. SDI is a fully accredited online distance learning program where you can get an associate's degree in firearms technology or become certified in gunsmithing. So check them out at sdi.edu. They also accept GI Bill, so be aware of that. Talon gun grips, you may be aware of those. Dad's been using them for a long time. Essentially a grip tape that goes around the grip of your handgun, just like this, around the grip, and gives you a much better grip, and you're not stuck with basically the grip that comes from the factory on the pistol, because it's not like the old days with 1911s where you just change out the grips. A lot of these more modern handguns don't give you that option, so you have to either just stick with what you got or wrap something around the outside. So check them out if it makes sense for you. And also, don't forget to go to our website, hickok45.com. We have a bunch of stuff over there for you guys to check out. We actually have our videos now on gunstreamer.com, so please check that out. Don't forget about our social media. Don't forget to look in the description also. There's a lot of information there. The description of the video and the website, hickok45.com. But our social media at The Real Hickok45 on Instagram, Hickok45 on Facebook and Twitter. There's John_Hickok45 on Instagram, but you can't guess who that is. What else? I think that's all I was going to tell you guys. Oh yeah, our merchandise. You can find our merchandise at bunkerbranding.com. We have this shirt, at least as I'm making this video, available. And we've got some hats. Just go check it out. It's going to change what we have available at different times. So if you like something, maybe go ahead and jump on it. But the main thing is hickok45.com, and support the people who support us whenever it makes sense for you. As always, I really appreciate you guys still watching these videos after so long and so many years. It means so much to us, and it's been such a fun experience. And we appreciate you guys, and see you later.